Okay, here we go. What might a WPA curriculum look like, and what would future WPAs need to read and do? What specific issues and questions would guide their work?
Well, I think that WPAs need to be familiar with how universities operate. They need to be familiar with how writing programs operate. They need to be familiar with curriculum. They need to be familiar with assessment, pedagogy, a pretty wide spectrum of things. You know, there's some wonderful collections out there. I don't want to name any in particular because there's so many good ones, but you know, all the major presses in rhetoric and composition have some terrific collections and also individually authored books on how to do this. So my recommendation is to read as widely as possible. I've taught a WPA course in the past, and I've used several collections in that, and they've worked very well. Because what you can do in that kind of class then is identify what students most feel they need to develop their skills and knowledge in their repertoire, and then pick and choose readings from those collections. I've also done 2 of the summer workshops for new WPAs hosted by the Council of Writing Program Administrators. And the way we set them up was to ask the people who are going to participate to send us questions about the biggest concerns that they had about becoming a WPA. And then we just organized the whole workshop around those questions. And we would systematically go through those questions, answer them, role play some of the situations that they had suggested, do some readings, talk about resources. And I think that's a good way of organizing what a WPA training program should look like.
What were some of those questions that they came up with, the people who were going to be in the workshop?
A lot of those questions had to do with how do I deal with X. So how do I deal with students who have plagiarized? How do I deal with students who are not performing well? How do I deal with teachers who are not performing well? How do I deal with my supervisor who maybe isn't the best listener? How can I understand how my program fits in the structure of the university, and how can I use that to my advantage? How do the finances work in a program or a department or a college or a university or a college?